So, this is a fanfiction idea that kind of spawned out of... actually, this was one of my older fanfiction ideas. How old is it? Well, I kind of made it as an after-series after the events of Avatar The Last Airbender, so this is no longer in continuity. This is a one big this is a Legends, essentially, now. Not to say fanfiction's in continuity to begin with, but still. Yeah, so this story was an idea I always had because I always wanted these two characters to work together. May and Katara. I always wanted these two to, like, hang out sometime, and they don't do that in the comics. Maybe they will at some... Well, they kind of did in Smoke and Shadow, but that was more Aang's hangout. It was more Aang working with May and Zuko. But yeah. Also, real quick, this is not a slash fiction. Just throwing that out there right now. This is not a slash fiction. This is a team-up story. This is essentially a team-up story between May and Katara. And... yeah, so let's talk about this fanfiction idea I had. So, the story is... actually, the whole basis of this is that I always wanted May and Katara to hang out, because I always imagined them as, like, if they worked together, it would be like female Superman, Batman. That's kind of what it would be like. May and Katara would definitely be like the female Superman, Batman of the Avatar universe. So... yeah, but the idea is that 6 months into the reign of, Zuko's reign as Fire Lord, something happens, essentially. Something happens in that he's poisoned by someone has put a venomous snake in his bedroom. It bit him. May was luckily there. You can probably guess how she was there. Killed the snake, and luckily got him to find medical attention. But however, the venom has left him weak. It's left him in a almost coma-like state. And he needs time to heal. So the Fire Nation needs a leader. So Iroh is forced to be like, hey, Iroh, we kind of need you to be the fill-in Fire Lord right now. So Iroh is forced to go back there and rule while Zuko heals, is recovering. Simultaneously, at the same time, right as Zuko was bit by this snake, Aang was attacked in his home. Someone put literally a bomb in his house, blew it up. He managed to get Katara to safety, but, Katara and Sokka to safety, but he was wounded in the blast. So, the Avatar is out of commission, the Fire Lord is out of commission, and they're, the whole world is like, what the shit? The two most powerful people are now, out of commission for a time being. Who or what is doing this? So while the world is kind of teetering on chaos, because the only one left in power is the Earth King, and yeah, he's still getting the ropes of actually ruling his people. So there's no real, there's also Boomy, but there's no real, major political power for the, for the Fire Nation outside of Iroh, who's trying his best to keep everything together. So while this is going on, with Zuko and Aang out of commission, May goes to Katara saying, look, someone just attacked our our boyfriends and soon-to-be husbands later on down the road. We should go kick some ass. And Katara's like, I am in. So the two of them go about looking for clues in what and what caused this situation. What possibly could have done this. Or who could have possibly done this. And at the time, I had it that, a lot of major suspects were like these, these kind of pro-Ozai kind of groups. They even interrogate Azula at a time. They interrogate, who's still locked up in this story. Azula's, interrogated by them. They even look for, again, pro-Ozai groups, because there's now, it's like the Imperial Remnant, where there's Ozai groups all over the place, and they're all trying to depose Zuko. So the prime suspects are those. Even and a lot of them try to get to Azula because she embodies what Ozai is. So as long as Azula lives, a lot of them are trying to get Azula out, and maybe and May and Katara's thought process is maybe Azula put out a hit on on Zuko from her cell. And that's kind of the train of thought they're going with at the time being, is that maybe that was their plan, is that, Azula put that hit out. And while they're working together, May and Katara definitely have different methods. Katara she can freeze people and, use her water bending. But at the same time, she's a little more, like, pulled back. Whereas May kind of shows how scary she is. Like, she'll, she breaks bones, she's cutting people, and even Katara's like, whoa, we're not gonna get, we're not gonna get any answers if you keep slicing the shit out of people. To which May's like, I don't care, that gets me that's going to get us results. You have bloodbending. Fucking use it. So, the other major thing was this, is that May and Katara are having these back and forths throughout the story, is that they're kind of like having these interesting these interesting conversations between the two, which I always wanted, because they're like I said, it's like Superman and Batman. The family drama's a little different. May had a mother, but she was cold and emotionally distant from. Katara lost her mother, but she at least had the love from her mother. So that was the big thing, was that May had, and Katara brings up, like, you still have a mom. You still have a chance to be like, I love you and all that. And May's like, no, I envy you. You didn't have a mom. And Katara's like, yeah, but at least mine loved me. There's not, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but maybe you should go talk to your mother, and it goes from there. And Katara is trying to, like, crack jokes at times, or try to get closer to May, and May kind of, like, emotionally shuts herself off, because she's like, look, you can play psychiatrist all you want, I'm not fucking talking. So that's kind of May's mental process, is that, but eventually, yeah, it's like a buddy cop kind of thing, where they're eventually starting to work together more and more. Like, they're starting to really trust each other and really get to know one another. But throughout this, they're trying to investigate this whole big mystery of what the fuck just happened. And it turns out that the person behind this is actually the son of Zhao in this story. Now, I never really thought as much to give him a name, but the backstory is that Zhao's son was this disenfranchised kid who grew up in the Northern Water Tribe in secret. He grew up in the Northern Water Tribe. Essentially, when Zhao was still a lieutenant, and his mother had traveled to the Earth Kingdom to be a healer for the Earth Kingdom soldiers, she ran into Zhao, and it wasn't exactly a loving relationship. I think you can all guess what I mean by that. So, yeah. So she had a son against her will. Unfortunately, she gave birth to Zhao's son, who was a firebender who she kept secret in the Northern Water Tribe, knowing that, oh my god, if, the son I didn't want and I still don't want is a firebender, and I might get kicked out. So, yeah, she is not the best of moms to this child. And he kind of grows up idolizing his father, even though when he was a child, he was still like a teenager. He was about a teenager, roughly around Katara's age. He sees his father laying siege to the Northern Water Tribe. He's like, yeah, let it burn it all. And then he saw, he was there when Aang killed Zhao in the spirit form. So, that kind of royally messed him up. And during the final sequence, I had the idea of, like, Katara's like, maybe we should put him on trial, maybe we should put him on, maybe we should lock him up, and May's like, no, fuck it, and puts a blade right through his head. And that kind of dampens the relationship between May and Katara, but they still, like, try to work together, but Katara's like, don't do that again, or I might have to put you down, and May's like, I'm starting to really like you. So that was kind of it. The basis of this was pretty much May and Katara trying to solve a mystery together in a kind of Superman, Batman, or better put, a buddy cop kind of story. Yeah, that was kind of the general idea I had. So there you go, guys. So you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of this story? Did you guys like it, hate it? Comment below, let me know. And once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I'm out.